Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the final installment of my favorite grunge albums by a big hair metal band. And this time I'm going to pick Warrant's Ultraphobic. This came out March 7th, 1995. By then, grunge had taken its hold, as I've mentioned numerous times, on video stations and video waves around the globe. So these guys just released a couple of years ago Dog Eat Dog in 1992, which I thought was one of the best melodic rock albums from these 80s bands ever. I still go back to this album to this day, so I was looking forward to the follow-up. What were they going to come out with? I had no idea because the landscape had changed drastically. So I said, are they going to do another album like Dog Eat Dog? What are they going to do? And then I heard Family Picnic. Sounds totally different than what Warrant's preconceived notions of what they should sound like. And it's a song about child abuse from the point of view of the child who's gotten abused. So darker tones, a little bit more mature writing on this album. But Jani Lane, I'm going to say, is one of the best writers of that era. He has songs that have a little bit more depth and emotional honesty to them, and I still think Uncle Tom's Cabin was one of the best songs I've ever heard from any band. And any song off Dog Eat Dog is stellar, in my opinion. Underrated gem of an album. But like I said, grunge took over. So this album comes out darker in tone, leaning a little bit more towards grunge, but not full-fledged grunge, I'm going to say. It still has those catchy hooks, great guitar riffs. But like I said, it's a little different. I'm not going to say a little, it's a lot different than what you expect Warrant to sound like. And I think that's where the problem happened, in my opinion. You had the guys who heard Dog Eat Dog and said, wow, these guys are a little bit more, or a lot more than just cherry pie. They can do more. We want more of that harder rock, darker toned, dripping sexuality like Hole in My Wall and stuff. Stellar album. I keep going back to that. So this comes out and sounds darker, psychedelic. It's leaning towards grunge. It has moved away totally from their first three albums. So in that period, you had the grunge guys who are looking at them going, weren't those guys the hair metal band, Cherry Pie? We're not into that. We're not following these guys. Then you had the fans like me who loved Dog Eat Dog and all their other albums, kind of went, at first, what is this? What happened? But if you gave it a chance, Jani Lane's writing is stellar on here. Yes, it's darker. Yes, it's more mature. It's more reflective. He's dealing with his divorce. He's dealing with a lot of dark matter on this album, and that's what I appreciate it. It's there's more depth to it. And again, during the 80s, I think most people will say, Nikki Sixx was one of the guys who wrote some of the catchiest songs in that era. I might have to agree, but I think writing right behind him is Jani Lane. If anybody could write a catchy song, and that he could move up to this, and it seemed almost effortlessly. So I was impressed with this album. As for my favorite tracks, I don't know. Album opener, Undertow, great rocker. Followed is a hard rocker. I love that one. Family Picnic, which is one of the singles. Sum of One is the psychedelic song. I'm not into that one too much. Chameleon, stellar track. Crawl Space, so. I'm not a fan of that one. Live Inside of You, High are probably the most Warrant sounding tracks on that album. Ride number 2 is a great rocker, one of my favorite rockers from them. Ultraphobic track, I'm not a fan of that one still. Stronger Now, a lot of people, if you look on the web, say this is one of his best songs, and I'm gonna have to agree. It is heartfelt, sincere. It is emotionally, honest, and you feel for him. I heard this song again yesterday, and I could sit there and I can see him in his room strumming away, dealing with these emotions. Phenomenal song. And if Taylor Swift or Pink would record this track, I am telling you right now, this would be the biggest hit of their career. This would go number 1 for 35 weeks on the charts. I guarantee you. So if anybody knows Pink, or if anybody knows, Taylor Swift, do a cover of Stronger Now. I'm telling you, this would be massive. Phenomenal song, probably one of the best he's ever written. This is a great album. It may kind of in the middle. I'm gonna say track six, no, maybe five, six are kind of out of place, and it kind of destroys the flow, in my opinion. But there's some top-notch material on here. Like I said, there's a lot of depth, a lot of emotional honesty on this record. If you're looking for something different from the band, this is it. This is my final selection, but I think it is one of the strongest albums of that year, and you deserve to hear it once in your life. If you ever liked Warrant, do yourself a favor, search this out. I would have showed you the booklet, but mine got damaged in a flood, and I missed this album terribly. Lucky I ripped a few tracks, and it's on my laptop. So I go back from time to time, and I still think Stronger Now. Again, somebody must re-record this song and make it a hit and show what a writer Janie Lane is. But that's my opinion. You let me know what you think. Have you heard this album? What do you think of this album? Some people hate it. I loved it. I think it's a great departure for the band, and it shows Janie Lane can write any kind of music style that he wants. And that's my opinion. And I'll be seeing you soon, guys.